Your top stories this evening sponsored by Courts, bringing value home. Venezuelan bomber confessed that he brought explosive device from Venezuela, according to the police. How many Venezuelan sleeping agents are in Guyana? Government now moving to keep track of illegal foreigners. Opposition ready to work with government on national security matters. No time to play cheap politics, says WALTON-DESIR. HUAWEI launches e-kit, first of its kind in Guyana. And in sport, fourth edition of the EXXONMOBIL and New Era Futsal Championship officially launched. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm Travis Chase with the Wednesday, October 29 edition of the HGP Nightly News. We have what you need to know this evening. On the police blotter, the Guyana Police Force says it has arrested the right man who is responsible for last Sunday night's deadly bombing at the mobile gas station Regent Street location. That suspect apparently came to Guyana specifically to detonate that bomb. More details in this report. The Venezuelan man who reportedly confessed to detonating a bomb at the mobile gas station at Regent and King Street, Georgetown on Sunday, told investigators that he brought the explosive device into Guyana just hours before the deadly blast. Head of the Police Criminal Investigations Department, Deputy Police Commissioner Wendell Blanham, made the disclosure Tuesday evening during a press conference at the Ministry of Home Affairs.
Among other things that he mentioned to us is that the device, he brought it in from Venezuela to Guyana. He also indicated that the device had a switch which he activated when he exited the vehicle, which was sparked within the vicinity of the gas station.
According to Mr. Blanham, the suspect, identified as Daniel Alexander Ramres Perdomo, admitted that he indeed transported the device from Venezuela into Guyana, and that device was activated after exiting a vehicle parked near the gas station. Mr. Blanham was careful with his responses, given that the investigation is still ongoing.
As I said before, the investigation is at a very critical stage, and that information will be released to the public in due course of time. What I can say is that the suspect is cooperating with the investigators. We have already secured a confession statement from him.
The crime chief further revealed that Perdomo and another Venezuelan accomplice entered Guyana illegally by boat early Sunday morning.
He came last Sunday at 8 a.m. and he was supported by other accomplices, both Venezuelans and Guyanese.
The head of the CID said 9 persons, including 4 Venezuelans, are in custody. The explosion at the mobile gas station claimed the life of 6-year-old Soraya Bourne and left several others injured. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. On HGP Nightly News, we tell you now that there is a lot our intelligence agencies aren't saying publicly about the recent bombing at the Regent and the King Street gas station. They insist they must be circumspect with what is released. What we do know, however, is that the government is now moving swiftly to compile proper records of foreigners living in Guyana illegally, who, for some reason, will be given a grace period to register. You'll hear more in this report. Now that the chickens have come home to roost, the government appears to be racing against the clock to have undocumented foreigners registered or face deportation. Home Affairs Minister Onij Walrond, in a statement Tuesday evening, announced that foreigners residing in Guyana illegally will be granted a grace period to register and will be issued with electronic identification cards.
We will have cards, this program has already started, has already been rolled out. We have cards for citizens and we have cards for non-citizens. And what we will do is for the persons who are in Guyana illegally, They will be given a grace period in which to come to register and have this EID card.
The government now seems to be pressing the gas to properly document the size of the Venezuelan migrant population in Guyana. This announcement follows Sunday's gas station bombing carried out by a Venezuelan national.
You will not be able to do anything, perform any, access any services, banking without this EID card for non-citizens. And they will be given a grace period. After that grace period is expired and you do not register and have an EID card, you will be taken out of the country and other sanctions will be implemented. That is the policy.
When asked specifically whether illegal foreigners are registered and fingerprinted upon entry into Guyana, the head of Immigration, Police Commissioner Clifton Hicken, responded,
"They're registered and so the prints will be taken."
It was former Home Affairs Minister Robeson Ben who had earlier warned about the possible presence of sleeper agents and covert operatives from Venezuela operating within Guyana's borders. Head of the Criminal Investigations Department, Wendell Blanham, was questioned about this.
In March of 2025, the former Home Affairs Minister said that there are several sleeper agents from Venezuela in Guyana. I'd like to know what was done since then with that information.
I cannot speak to a statement that was made by the Honorable Minister of Home Affairs at that time. What I can say is that the previous incident that we had, that matter is currently engaged in the attention of the court. And as a result of that, I have to be very circumspect with what I say.
Meanwhile, the prime suspect, Ramrez Perdomo, is facing multiple charges, including terrorism, murder, attempted murder, arson, and malicious damage to property. Police believe he is affiliated with the R organization, a faction linked to the Sindicato gang. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. Amanza Walton-DESIR, leader of Forward Guyana Movement, says the political opposition is ready to work with government on national security matters, since now is not the time to play cheap politics. Walton-DESIR was speaking on the podcast Reset, as she called on the government to let good sense prevail and work in the best interest of the people of Guyana in light of the recent brazen terrorism. Marvin Cato reports.
It is equally important for our government to understand that now is not the time for partisan politics.
That was Amanza Walton-DESIR, who on the podcast Reset stressed that now is not the time for the government to be hard-hearted and hard-headed and should reach across the aisle and make use of available resources in the opposition ranks.
And the government has to be clear about it, and they have to understand that we're not in the mood for games and foolishness. This requires an all-hands-on-deck approach to dealing with this issue.
Walton-DESIR stressed that the government should look to garner support from retired law enforcement and security personnel who can bring the much-needed skills and knowledge to strengthen national security efforts. It should not be the time to play cheap politics, she contends.
You know, a lot of people may say, oh, it's not an occasion to lay blame. It is absolutely an occasion to lay blame, particularly when we have been warning about the consequences of unchecked migration across our porous borders.
She reminded that we have moved away from a society that has lived in relative peace and safety to acts of terrorism. Outside of the Cuban air disaster, Guyana has not been known for battling terrorists or terrorism.
The press conference held by the government yesterday really, in my own view, has not done much to assuage Guyanese of this government's readiness or preparedness to deal with this.
Walton-DESIR pointed out that the opposition has been sounding the warning ad nauseum about the need to register migrants in order to track them across communities. However, all concerns fell on deaf ears.
A nation of people who are really coming to grips with the reality that our world, our Guyana as we know it, has changed permanently.
Marvin Cato, HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Marvin. Stay with us. You're watching the HGP Nightly News.
Welcome to SNL Electrical Inc., where lighting and electrical needs are met with expertise and style. From the latest in electrical lamps to durable cables, circuit breakers, panels, we have it all. Illuminate your space with our elegant chandeliers, stunning crystal lights, and versatile pole lights. Looking to upgrade your comfort? Explore top-of-the-line AC units and our diverse selections of stylish styles. Visit us at 170-180 Thomas Street, Kitty, Georgetown. Discover a solution that not only lights up your world but transforms it. Call us on telephone number 226-3018 or 223-1634. SNL Electrical Inc., powering your life with elegance, quality, and care.
Did you tell him that Danny went to pick up KFC?
No, wait a minute. Are we really not going to tell him we already have KFC?
A tasty dinner shouldn't be that complicated. Crunch the routine and order a delicious KFC bucket for the best price. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
The HGP Nightly News, still over the Home Affairs Ministry. Home Affairs Minister Onij Walron has reaffirmed her ministry's commitment to a zero-tolerance approach to police bribery, warning that such acts will not be treated lightly under her leadership. This story from Tiana Cole.
Home Affairs Minister Onij Walron on Wednesday declared that bribery within the police force will be addressed with utmost seriousness, emphasizing that it undermines public trust and weakens law enforcement.
It is a scourge in this society that we have to tackle head on. It is treated with, has been in the past, a little too casually, and we have seen how it breaks down the authority of the police.
The minister made it clear that there will be no tolerance for officers who accept bribes and urged citizens to speak out when they witness such misconduct.
These things ought to be addressed. I encourage the public, when they see these kinds of things, speak up. Certainly if the report gets to my office, it will be treated with. We've already had to deal with some of these instances. Take the pictures, do the record.
She further stressed that effective policing requires partnership between officers and citizens and assured the public that all complaints will be taken seriously.
For sure, these complaints will not fall on deaf ears under my leadership.
Addressing the issue of body cameras, Minister Walron revealed that while there has been some resistance to their use, each region now has a command center where all footage is securely stored to promote transparency.
Most times it's to aid with transparency as well. So it's not every day that you're viewing the footage, but the footage has to be available for viewing at any time that the police would like.
She noted that strict disciplinary measures are in place for officers who tampered with or delete footage without authorization.
Under the police rules, you can be charged, surcharged, Disciplinary matters, you can, and as a result of a disciplinary proceedings, you can be demoted.
Minister Walton concluded by announcing plans to expand the body camera program in the coming year, saying it has proven to be an effective tool that enhances accountability by reducing reliance on potentially flawed eyewitnesses' accounts. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
The high-profile election fraud trial resumed on Wednesday before Acting Chief Magistrate Faith Magusti at the Georgetown Magistrates Court as proceedings entered its 36th day with new evidence being presented. Tiana Cole will tell us more.
Day 36 of the election fraud trial continued on Wednesday before Acting Chief Magistrate Faith Magusti at the Georgetown Magistrates Court, where new evidence was presented as proceedings resumed. A key moment in the day's hearing came when the court viewed a video-recorded interview with former Health Minister Waldo Lawrence, who exercised the right to remain silent during questioning by police investigators. During the afternoon session, Police Corporal Troy Henry, a videographer attached to the Guyana Police Force, GPF, testified that on October 13, 2020, he was instructed by the major crime units to conduct a video-recorded interview with Lawrence, who was accompanied by her lawyer, Nigel Hughes. The video recording was later played in court, where investigators were heard posing several questions to Lawrence. However, the former minister chose not to respond and remained silent throughout the interview. Earlier in the day, Detective Assistant Superintendent of Police Kamal Patama re-entered the witness box to continue his testimony during the void air. His evidence was followed by cross-examination from defense attorney Nigel Hughes. The trial is expected to resume on October 30, 2025, when Superintendent Caesar will return to the stand. The charges arise from investigations into the March 2020 general and regional elections, during which several former officials of the Ghana Elections Commission, GCOM, and others were accused of attempting to manipulate election results. In total, the accused faced 19 conspiracy charges related to alleged electoral fraud. The prosecution has indicated plans to call approximately 73 witnesses before the trial concludes. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
The Micro and Women Entrepreneur Learning Center was commissioned with the aim of furthering support for micro and medium-sized enterprises, which constitute roughly 75% of the Chamber's membership. Antonio Day will tell you more.
The Micro and Women Entrepreneur Learning Center was conceptualized by the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry, GCCI, to bolster micro and medium-sized enterprises that make up 75% of the Chamber's membership. The initiative, in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture and the Government of Canada, focus on the advancement of agriculture sector. Cathy Smith, the president of GCCI, described the initiative as quote-unquote a bold idea aimed at helping micro and medium-led businesses and farmers thrive sustainably. She noted that the facility represents an opportunity for micro and medium-sized enterprises in Guyana to access invaluable training and information. She noted that any woman, entrepreneur, or farmer can walk up these stairs and access their portfolio of services and support. WSC Country Coordinator for Sustainable Agriculture in the Caribbean Project, Donald Cole, highlighted the long-standing partnership between GCCI, WSC, and the Ministry of Agriculture.
That collaboration has grown through platforms like Guyana AgriConnect and events such as the Agriculture Symposium, where more than 130 stakeholders came together to align public and private action.
Cole elaborated on the center's intention to provide practical tools and tailored mentoring for beneficiaries to achieve tangible results.
It offers training in business fundamentals, digital tools, food security, food safety and quality, and sustainable production. It is also a place to test products, showcase them, and meet buyers and service providers.
Head of Cooperation, Adam Lawyer, representing the High Commission of Canada, stated that the center is the GCCI's investment in the future of Guyana's entrepreneurs.
The center stands as a powerful testament to the commitment of our partners here at the GCCI to investing in the future of Guyana's agriculture and entrepreneurial sectors.
Meanwhile, Minister of Agriculture, Zulfikar Mustafa, highlighted GCCI's support for agriculture development, describing the center as a beacon of empowerment and innovation.
These projects are not just a statistic, they represent real lives and livelihood being transformed through innovation, opportunities, and empowerment.
Antonio De reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
You're watching the HGP Nightly News. Stay with us. There is more news ahead.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455.
So yeah, I was watching the game last night.
Oh gosh, is this Valerie people again?
Hello everyone.
Hello.
I'm with the Ministry of Health, here to distribute our annual Filaria tablets.
So wait, like is every year y'all share these tablets?
Why so often?
That's a very good question. Filaria is spread in mosquitoes, and the worm can live inside you for many years. Taking a tablet once is not enough to stop them. That's why the program provides them every year to break the cycle of transmission.
So how come people still get Bigfoot and Goody after taking this pill? Yeah.
The Bigfoot and the Goody is not caused by the tablets. It's the disease itself. See, filaria, it actually damages the lymphatic system over time, which causes scrotal swelling and Bigfoot. The pills actually prevent that by stopping the worms before they cause permanent damage.
Oh. So it's really about all of us.
Not just one person?
Exactly. By each person taking their dose, we move closer to eliminating filaria from Guyana.
Alright, well, we'll take ours today.
Yeah, I think that's the right thing to do. We'll take ours.
Remember, everyone in your household needs to take the tablet too. That's how we protect families and our whole community.
We are talking about filaria gonna get knocked out. TKO.
Here on the HGP Nightly News. Chinese company HUAWEI is poised to transform the technological landscape. The company has launched its global e-kit at the Royal International Hotel and Mall in Georgetown. Here's more from Antonio De.
Chinese company HUAWEI has launched its global e-kit in Guyana, being a major addition to the digital landscape. This initiative was unveiled at the Royal International Hotel and Mall in Georgetown, which aids in offering secure, affordable, and state-of-the-art technology solutions to both local businesses and a broad spectrum of public and private sector institutions. Project manager Janelle Prasad articulated the vision being introducing HUAWEI e-kit to Guyana, highlighting that the initiative was propelled not merely by the desire to sell devices, but also by a commitment to align with Guyana's ongoing transformative trajectory. Is characterized by enhanced connectivity, evolving infrastructure, and boundless growth potential. She elaborated that the e-kit devices represent the essential, albeit often overlooked, workhorses that power modern business operations, including routers, switches, access points, surveillance systems, and smart collaboration tools, pivotal for effective enterprise functioning. Lin Liang, the Director of Commercial and Distribution Sales for the multi-countries at HUAWEI, underscored the breadth of e-kit's offerings in critical sectors such as education, healthcare, retail, and hospitality. Kwame Koi, the Minister with responsibility for public affairs in the Office of the Prime Minister, delivering an address on behalf of Prime Minister retired Brigadier Mark Phillips, emphasized the government's initiatives currently at play and those on the horizon, each one leveraged by the power of digital technology. The establishment of this e-kit hub will cultivate enhanced solutions for both businesses and consumers, dovetailing seamlessly with our overarching efforts to improve access to technology and strengthen connectivity, Minister McCoy articulated. Antonio De reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
The Forward Guyana Movement Party is calling for opposition unity ahead of the convening of the 13th Parliament. The party's leader believes unity is critical for the advancement of the Guyanese society. Marvin Cato reports.
What this parliament will do if the three opposition parties understand how to coexist and to hold this government accountable is that for the first time you will have a diversity of policies like we have not seen.
That was Amanza Walton-DESIR, leader of Forward Guyana movement and who will be occupying her party's lone seat in the National Assembly, highlighting the fact that there is need for opposition cooperation in the 13th Parliament since for the first time there is the composition of 3 parties forming the opposition.
If we take it on board, result in the enriching of whatever framework we're going to craft, right? I wrote to Azruddin Mohammed and to APNU asking that we meet this coming week.
The WIN and APNU are in possession of that proposal, according to Walton-DESIR.
I've sent them a draft of what that framework could be, and it is for them to respond.
She is optimistic that the plan would be accepted by the parties.
For again, this is not about, trying to be the leader of anything or anybody. It is simply doing what our civic duty requires us to do, and that is to make every effort to make sure that the people of Guyana get the best representation in the National Assembly.
That cooperation was only recently tested in the election of regional office holders. There was a complete breakdown in talks that led to the We Invest in Nationhood WIN party, the now main opposition party, and the Partnership for National Unity APNU not agreeing to an opposition formula. With a combined majority of the regions, the opposition came out of 3 of those elections without the regional chairmanship, the incumbent having secured all and Region 10 still to be decided on. The 2 major opposition parties' nominees remain locked on 9 votes each, and the incumbent regional executive officer yet to reconvene and complete the electoral process. Marvin Cato reporting for HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned for your regional news.
Live the island dream. It's your chance to be one of over 100 winners in the Island Dream promotion. Win your share of more than $1 million in cash and prizes, plus 2 all-inclusive weekend staycations for 2. And that's not all. Score coolers packed with Buster, Turbo, Altitude, and Viva. Just buy any can or bottle of Turbo, Buster, Altitude, or Viva. Find the code starting with BB, then visit at Buster Guyana or Turbo_Caribbean on IG or Facebook for details. The Island Dream, get money. Live the island dream.
Life is full of beautiful moments, but did you know that everyday activities can expose you and your loved ones to harmful worms? From playing in the dirt to cuddling with pets, even eating unwashed fruits and vegetables. These common activities can cause worm infestation. Intestinal worm infections can cause nausea, fatigue, bloating, or even stomach pains. Dr. Sentival has the remedy for you. Use worm medicine to prevent infections and to rid your family of these pests. Check your nearest pharmacy for Leaven with pack sizes suitable for families large and small. Just a single dose after a meal treats common worms. Protect your family with Leaven so you can focus on what truly matters: making memories. Distributed by Massey Distribution, Guyana Limited.
Mom, did you tell him that Danny went to pick up KFC?
No, wait a minute. Are we really not going to tell him we already have KFC?
A tasty dinner shouldn't be that complicated. Crunch the routine and order a delicious KFC bucket for the best price. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Good evening and welcome to Wednesday's edition of the Regional News. Hurricane Melissa tore through Jamaica's western parishes on Tuesday, leaving behind widespread destruction, catastrophic flooding, and crippling infrastructure damage in what officials are calling the most powerful storm ever to hit the island. Making landfall near New Hope, Westmoreland around noon as a Category 5 hurricane, Melissa dumped more than 30 inches of rain across sections of the island. Ferocious winds toppled power lines, uprooted trees, and ripped roofs from homes and public buildings, damaging at least 4 hospitals in its wake. By late Tuesday, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness declared Jamaica a disaster area, under the Disaster Risk Management Act. He said the government's first priority is always the safety and well-being of every Jamaican. More than 500,000 households were left without electricity as the storm moved northward, while nearly 6,000 people sought refuge in shelters across the island, many rescued in last-minute operations by emergency teams. The government has since launched the Hurricane Melissa Relief Fund website at supportjamaica.gov.gm under the banner Rebuilding Lives, Restoring Hope. Hurricane Melissa slammed into Cuba early on Wednesday, hours after causing devastation in neighboring Jamaica as the strongest ever storm on record to hit that Caribbean island nation. Melissa hit the southern coast of eastern Cuba with maximum sustained winds of 120 miles per hour, the U.S. National Hurricane Center, NHC, said. Life-threatening storm surge, flash flooding, and landslides and damaging hurricane winds are ongoing this morning, the center said. Around 735,000 people were evacuated from their homes in eastern Cuba as the storm approached, authorities said. Cuba President Miguel Diaz-Canel warned on Tuesday the storm would cause significant damage and urged people to heed evacuation orders. Melissa had weakened to a still dangerous Category 3 hurricane after roaring ashore near Jamaica's southwestern town of New Hope on Tuesday, packing sustained winds up to 185 miles per hour, well above the 157 miles per hour threshold for Category 3, the highest level on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane scale. Authorities had shut down power to virtually all the eastern Cuba, evacuated vulnerable areas, and had asked residents to shelter in place. The timing could not be worse for the communist-run Caribbean island. Cuba is already suffering from food, fuel, electricity, and medicine shortages that have complicated life for many, prompting record-breaking migration of the island since 2021. At least 64 people died on Tuesday in Rio de Janeiro's most deadly police operation ever, which targeted a major gang days before the city hosts global events related to the United Nations Climate Summit known as COP30. The police had often conducted large-scale operations against criminal groups ahead of major events in Rio, which hosted the 2016 Olympics, the 2024 Group of 20 Summit, and the BRICS Summit in July. Next week, Rio hosts the T40 Global Summit of Mayors, tackling climate change and Prince William's Earthshots Prize. The programming is part of the run-up to COP30, which will be held in the Amazon city of Belém from November 10 to 21. The death toll confirmed by Rio Governor Claudio Castro on October 28, which included 4 police officers, was more than twice that of Rio's most deadly previous police operation. Thank you for watching. I am Tiana Cole.
Delwyn Neblet is up next with HGP's Sports Pulse.
Good evening, Guyana. I'm Delwyn Neblet with your HGP TV Sports Pulse for today, Wednesday, October 29, 2025. We begin tonight with basketball. Action continued in the 2025 Brushes Classic Basketball Championships with 2 games at the Retrieve Hard Court in Linden on Sunday. First game was a commanding 82-42 victory for the Victory Valley Royals over the Retrieve Raiders as Clovell Thomas scored 28 and Vibert Benjamin scored 20. Neil Marks Jr. put up 23 points for the Raiders in a losing effort. The Amelia's Wards Jets defeated Block 22 Flames 53-47 in the second game, led by 12 points from Stephen George and 10 from from Danelle Benjamin. The competition, which began on Sunday, October 19, continues tonight with 2 fixtures featuring the Ravens versus Kokwani and the Pitts Eagles versus Paysetters. The Victory Valley Royals and Amelia's Ward Jets have already secured their places in the semi-finals, which are set to be played on Saturday, November 1st, as the final is set for Sunday, November 2nd in Linden. Moving into football, action resumed tonight in the Guyana Football Federation's 2025 Division 1 Women's League with 2 fixtures at the National Training Center in Providence. The first match featured Manedalas versus the Namstel FC, while the second match currently underway features the Fruta Conquerors versus Santos. Still in football, the first 5 rounds of action in the Georgetown Football Association Senior Men's League 2025 have successfully been completed. Tabletoppers Camptown FC with 13 points are just 1 point ahead of second place and third place holders Beacon FC and Genesis FC. Fourth place Pili FC with 11 points are 1 point clear of fifth and sixth place Rhythm Squad and the Motherland. Black Pearl, Vengi, North Stars, Northern Rangers, Ordis and Eastveld complete the points table in that order ahead of the next round of fixtures. The 4th edition of the EXXONMOBIL New Era Futsal Championship was officially launched on Tuesday in the mining town of Linden. The event, which will utilize an initial group stage format, will feature 13 teams divided into 4 pools. The top 2 teams at the end of each group stage will advance to the knockout round. All matches will be staged at the Retrieve Tarmac. The competing teams are Fearless, Silver Bullets, Salah Family, Young Gunners, Hardball Management, Foundation Family, Bombers, YMCA, DC Ballers, YMCA B, Spaniards, HK, and Spaniards B. The playing dates are November 7th, 8th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 19th, 21st, 22nd, and 29th. The winner of the event will receive $1.5 million and a championship trophy, while second and third will receive $750,000 and $350,000 respectively. Fourth place will receive $200,000 and a trophy. On the individual side, the most valuable player will ride away with a motorcycle. Similarly, a $300,000 economic grant will also be awarded to a player or fan to aid their continued academic development. Each team must submit their candidate. Meanwhile, each team will receive an appearance fee of $40,000 once they complete the group stage. And finally, in cricket, the West Indies have secured a series victory against Bangladesh after winning the second T20 International earlier today. Batting first, the Windies reached 149 for 9 from their allotment of 20 overs, as the captain Shehub once again top scored with 55 from 36, and Alec Athenes played well for 52 from 33. Mustafizur Rahman was the pick of the bowlers for Bangladesh, taking 3 for 21, as Rashad Hussain and Nasum Ahmed each picked up 2 wickets. When Bangladesh responded, they were limited to 135 for 8 from their allotment of 20 overs, as both Akil Hussain and player of the match Mario Shepherd picked up 3 wickets in the 14-run victory. Tanzid Hassan top scored for Bangladesh with a well-played 61, as Jason Holder picked up 2 for 20 in a winning effort. The final match of the series is scheduled for an 8 a.m. start on Friday. That's it for this edition of the HGP TV Sports Pulse. I'm Delwyn Neblett, reminding you to stay in the game.
Venezuelan bomber confessed that he brought the explosive device from Venezuela, according to the police. How many Venezuelan sleeper agents are in Guyana? Government now moving to keep track of illegal foreigners. Opposition ready to work with government on national security matters. No time to play cheap politics, says WALTON-DESIR. HUAWEI launches eKit, first of its kind in Guyana. And in sport, 4th edition of the EXXONMOBIL and New Era Futsal Championship officially launched. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm Travis Chase. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.